Hey guys, how's it going? So we are heading down to the garden center, and by we I mean me. I'm going down by myself for a little bit of quiet time, just to cruise around the plant room and pick out some new houseplants for our mantle above our fireplace for spring. Now I typically don't love to put living plants up there when we're in the season where we're lighting lots of fires because you know, there's a lot of hot air that naturally rises and dries plants out, and it becomes kind of a maintenance issue. I had poinsettias there for Christmas. They didn't love it, but it's such a seasonal plant that it didn't matter so much. But I would like to put some things up there that might want to stay for a while. And you can see our landscape behind me. Over the past 24 to 48 hours or so, we've had, oh boy, I think both storms brought in probably 7 to 8 inches apiece. It's melted down a bit, so it looks like we have about 10 to 12 inches of snow right now. But the sun is shining and it's melting. I can hear the water just dripping, and it's actually not that cold out here at all. It's quite beautiful. Just look at that. Snow is always so much prettier when you see the sun shining in the background, because you know you get to enjoy it for a time and then it's gonna go away quickly. And there's Cheddar. He was just up in the sun porch laying on the chaise. I don't know what he's doing out here. Cheddar, kitty kitty. Hey buddy. But you can see there kind of the snow pile on top of the table. Sure gonna make a lot of plants happier. A lot of moisture. So I do plan on getting quite a number of new houseplants. I'm not sure how many I can fit up on that mantle, but I'm going to try to use other things that I have on hand in terms of containers, baskets, that sort of thing. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to probably be doing this video in 2 different parts. So today we'll just focus on picking up the houseplants. I'll give you a little tour of the plant room down at the garden center. I have, honestly, it's been a while since I've looked really closely at the plants, so I'm not sure what they've got at the moment. And then we'll get them home and kind of lined out, and then probably tomorrow I'll tackle the whole taking apart of the mantle and then redoing it. So let's go ahead and head down to the garden center. Probably not the best choice of shoe, but I can finally wear these again after being pregnant, so I'm going with it. Okay, we're gonna start over here on this side, because I know there's some really pretty plants over here. These are a type of Schefflera. I think they might be a little bit too tall for where I'm thinking. There's some nice sansevierias back here. They have to be plants that can handle a bright room but no direct light. Look at these pots. These are kind of new-ish. Aren't those unique looking? We've got one that's completely covered in the ruffles, one that just has a ruffle rim, and these almost look like mushrooms, don't they? Growing off the side of a pot. That's really cool. Yeah, I think that's what it's meant to be. Okay, so now this is the size I think I need. Alpine Junior, is that what it says? Schefflera, yeah, Schefflera Alpine Junior. It's a nice looking one, but I don't know if there's 2 this size to look around. I think a couple of these might be nice. These are a type of Peperomia. Let's find the tag. Peperomia Ginny. I think that would be really nice color on the mantle. Something just kind of bright. Oh, these are neat. Little pots you can just sink another houseplant down in. That's a nice size too. I really like the Leslie ferns, which I have one of these upstairs. We just brought some of those home for a little dresser in Aaron and my bedroom. But I don't know, maybe we'll do a couple more of these. I've had this type of fern, like a bird nest fern type, up on the mantle before, and they did really, really well. This is a really nice size of philodendron too, because I kind of need something like medium, on the large side of medium. So I don't know if that's like an 8-inch size pot or what, but something like that might be kind of nice. And there's ficus right there. Not quite the look I'm going for. But look at that. Something with a nice bold leaf like that might be a nice option for up there. And I think that they would like the light. Oh my, that one's got some size. I was actually just told that they put in a houseplant order yesterday. And so it's not going to be here this week, but next week. And I don't really want to wait that long, but I know that they're going to have so many really fun brand new things. So maybe we'll just get the mantle started today and maybe fill in the gaps later. I don't know though. We'll have to go look in the back sunroom and see what they've got still. These are just so nice looking. They're so full. Wonder how much these cost. $54.99. But I like so many things in this area right here. All the colors, very neutral. but that makes it really easy to use in whatever display. I like these chubby birds. They're so cute. I hadn't noticed those before. Going back into the sunroom, and oh my word, that's about the most open I've seen it in a while. I guess my mom has a plan for this area right here. So they just cleared it out and got it cleaned up and ready for something new. How fun. Oh, okay, see, I really like this plant too. That one's got a really interesting leaf. That's a Philodendron Hope. Really neat. Okay, so even if I don't put one of these on the mantle, I should put one of these somewhere else. I am going to start a pile in the back. Okay, I'm seeing some really nice ferns. I'm kind of like drawn to these just because I know that they've done really well on the mantle before. They've got some nice peace lilies too, but like look back here. Kind of remember seeing these ferns the other day. Yep, that's a really nice texture. And they've got good size to them. Couple of nice ones up here. Kangaroo paw fern. Oh yeah. Yeah, those two look really good, don't they? We'll take these. Okay, walking back up this way, I think it might be nice to have something with a little bit of bright green. This is a Dracaena, I think called Green Stripe. I'll take this one out of its holder, take a look at it. Ooh, that's a beauty. And then there's another one right here. That's the thing with doing this mantle. I have to get almost two of everything so everything's nice and balanced. Maybe a couple of small spider plants. These are sweet. The Scheffleras right here are nice. Okay, so this is where it gets really fun, underneath the area where it gets lots of sun, but that's kind of the problem. This area that we're decorating doesn't get a ton of sun, and some of these plants can handle that, but a lot of them need brighter light. A lot of the succulents and things like that. You know what I'm seeing though is a couple of these Scheffleras, the Alpine Juniors, in a smaller container. That's kind of what I needed. Okay, I'm going to grab these two. I may not end up taking everything that I'm pulling right now. Take the saucer too. Kind of just want to line them all up and see what they look like together. Boy, these are beautiful. I really think these Philodendron, this is a Birkin. Look at that. Look at how beautiful that is. I think if they were a little bit bigger, it would be perfect for this application. But really beautiful. There's a lot of spider plants with different variations of colors, which is always nice depending on what you're doing. Because sometimes you want it to have white. Sometimes you want it to be more solid. Sometimes you want some yellow. And oh my goodness, there's just so many beautiful things. This is like my third or fourth time just through this sunny area today, trying to decide what I should do. I think I've got a pretty good mix of stuff going on though. We can go into the back hallway. I've got it kind of laid out how I think I will plant things, and I'll show you what I've got so far. It's also nice to see this small fiddlehead fig option here. I've got a few at home already. All right, what do you guys think? So, right there is kind of the split. That'll be half of the mantle, and this will be the other half, so they mirror each other. So at either side where I've got room for a bigger plant, we'll do the big Philodendron, and then the Dracaena, the Peperomia, a Schefflera. Look at how beautiful all those different colors and textures are. Big and bold. I need to leaf shine these. And then just a little bit more fine. And then we've got some nice pink coloring, and then the grassy texture, and then we draw the grassy texture back down with the smaller spider plant, and then another Dracaena down here that's got a deeper color. And then I am taking this one because it's so pretty. I don't even know where it's going to go. Somewhere prominent. I'm real happy with this blend, so now I need to tally it all up and go put it on my IOU. Okay, I think I've got everything that I need, I think. But I can always fill in the gaps when the new houseplant order comes in. I think what I'm going to do is unload all of these into the studio, because that's where most of my pots and baskets and things are. They're all kind of out in the barn, so I can mess around with figuring out the best combination, and then tomorrow I'm excited to tear into that mantle. And it totally smells like bacon out here. I don't know where it's coming from, but it is making me hungry. You know, it doesn't even make sense how little snow there was down by the garden center with how much snow we still have at the house. Like, it is going nowhere. What in the world? Burr, 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 burr. I've got everything out here in the studio, the plants, which I spread some of them out, and then some baskets and containers. I honestly can't decide what look I want to go with. I was thinking a bunch of baskets, but the craft store was really low on baskets, and when I went and looked the other day, and I don't really have a lot of matching baskets. Like, I have lots of baskets, but I haven't ever bought them like in groups of 2 on purpose for the mantle. And I kind of was looking the other day and thinking it'd be really fun to do like a mixture of different like textures and colors of basket, but I need double of everything in order to make it be balanced. So I don't know how well it's gonna work. I do have a few baskets that I had here on hand anyway. And it's hard for me to get out of my rut. I don't know if you guys are like this, but I am not a big one to rearrange furniture and stuff like that. Like, I figure out a way that it works really well for us, and then that's the way it stays for a long time until I buy new furniture. Really. I mean, I maybe rearrange or move tables around or something like that maybe once a year or something like that. I don't know. I'm way better at moving stuff around outside. I mean, you guys know. I'm pretty good at taking stuff out and redoing and just constantly evolving my space outside, but inside it's just different for me. So our mantle, I tend to always want to put gray concrete pots or gray clay pots and do something kind of neutral-ish. And so, I don't know, I'm trying to maybe think, should I get away from that? The baskets will make it look a little bit trendier, which I tend to kind of steer away from most of the time. But I don't know, this thing is just going to kind of take on a life of its own, I think. And honestly, how can it not? Look at how beautiful this selection is. Like, once I got it here, I'm like, yes, I like these. Down at the garden center, I was kind of like, well, I don't know, you know, maybe this is going to be a little bit too yellow or whatever. But I think it's just going to be a really pretty look. I do think, though, I brought terracotta out. I'm not sure that I want to use terracotta because just look at this. Look at how pretty this pot is with this bonny spider plant right here. That is so pretty. And then here are the baskets I have, which I did buy in double. So I can just pop like the big philodendron down in one of these without even having to pot it, which would be great. And then I've got the step down in size, which I could use for either the Dracaena or the Schefflera there. And then I have these like burlappy containers, little pots, cloth pots. You can actually plant right in them. They have a drain hole and everything, and they're lined with plastic. I don't know, they seem like they'd be a little bit precarious, filled with soil. But I think I could use these as kind of like a pot to hide another pot inside. I don't know. I've got pillows in the great room nearby on the couches that are black with a creamy white plaid. That's not really plaid. What would you call that? I don't know. It's got the same pattern. I'm also going to be using a lot of leaf shine on these plants because if you take a close look, like there's quite a bit of hard water, there's some dust and stuff. They just need to be cleaned off. So I'll be using leaf shine and some paper towels to kind of give these a quick once over. And then as kind of a quick recap of the plants that came home with me, we've got the big philodendron right there, which I've got one in the great room already, and it's doing really well. So that's kind of like a good indicator that this plant will like its situation. Some of the leaves have the splits in them. Some of them are still nice and bold and don't have the splits. I'm kind of indifferent, honestly, like, yeah, that's cool, but I like these too. Then we've got the Hawaiian Schefflera, which this is the only one that I'm like, well, we'll see if we're gonna have enough light. These things can be moved around, and really, I just wanted it to look fresh and green for spring. And then I'll probably be moving these plants out and doing something different here in just a little while. And I think this will be an easy one to like shift into Easter. I can just pop some bunnies up on the mantle, which I do have, and they can just nest in among these houseplants and look really pretty. So then we've got the Bonnie spider plant, which you can see this one has a little bit more twist and curl to the leaves, which is really fun. And then Ginny Peperomia, super easy care plant. All of these are really easy care plants. And then we've got a green striped Dracaena. I had one of these when I worked in an office, and it got 0 natural light, 0, and it did great for years. And then this is a Janet Craig Compacta Dracaena right here. Needs to have a little bit of grooming done, a little tip removal there, tip burn. So I'm basically just going to be messing with these plants for a little while, going back and forth to other parts of the barn, grabbing pots, seeing what sticks, seeing what I like the look of, and then I'll give you guys a look at what I come up with. I'm also going to give all the plants a once over. I did check them all for insects already, and it's always a good thing to do when you pick out new house plants. You don't want to unknowingly bring home a big problem like mealybugs or spider mites. Oh my goodness. That's the worst, when you are unaware that a plant has it and you bring it home all excited for your new plant, and then you've got this big issue to deal with. But I will be probably looking a little closer at that, and then also grooming them up and giving their leaves a little bit of a dusting with some leaf shine. So what do you guys think of that grouping? I think that turned out really pretty. So I did use both of the baskets, one for the big Philodendron in the back and then one for the Dracaena here on the side. I think that's a really pretty look right there. And I'm not going to plant these. I'm just going to leave them in their containers. You won't even be able to see because the mantle is quite high. And then one of the grow bags, so the Schefflera in that black kind of checkered grow bag. And then I have these birch pots that actually came from Gardener's Supply with amaryllis planted in plastic containers inside this little decorative pot, and I saved them. And that was from like a year or two ago. So I think that adds kind of a fun texture. And then this little, like, it's kind of a gray-brown little clay pot. It's got some hard water standing along the bottom, but I don't mind that. And then this little rose rim from Unique Stone right here with our spider plant. Oops, I missed a little edge here. A little burnt tip. And this is all that I was able to get off these plants. Let me move my coffee cup. That's really a minimal amount of stuff right there. And really, like, it was minor stuff. I removed that leaf off the Philodendron that had some burn on the tip. And then with the leaf shine, this is what the paper towel looked like when I was done with this grouping of plants. And it's just a good idea, even if you don't want to use leaf shine, to dust your plants every once in a while. It makes them healthier and happier and look a heck of a lot better. So yay, this grouping is done. Now I'm just going to work on these right here. So there's our groupings, and I think they look so great. I really like the blend of plants. I like the blend of container. The cloth or burlap rather bags down here I think are really cool. In fact, it'd be neat if I could find smaller ones, like one step down, to put this plant in so we've had, you know, an equal amount of weight over here. I could paint some black on those pots, like a rim around the top, or maybe I could paint the whole thing. I don't know. They've got a lot of hard water on them anyway. It wouldn't hurt. But I'm going to have to work on this one a little bit so that it'll relax. It's got kind of a perma-crease in there. I might need to get my iron out. It's looking like it's wanting to crumple down. I tried to straighten it out. That one looks pretty darn good. But all of these plants should cohabitate really nicely together. I usually have my houseplants on a once a week watering schedule, so I'll just be checking on these. It doesn't mean I'll have to water them every single week. In fact, most of these prefer to dry a tiny bit between watering. They don't want wet feet necessarily. And then I will come and use the leaf shine every once in a while on them as I need to. And I've heard of people using a lot of other different things like milk. I've never done that. I don't know what else. You know, some people just use a damp cloth. For us, it's just a little bit harder because of the hard water factor. A damp cloth usually works just fine to take off dust and just to clean the leaves up a little bit. But hard water is just tough. So the leaf shine does kind of help take that appearance away a little bit. And the best part about this project is I didn't plant a single one of these. I could just slip them right down in these decorative containers. And you know, one could plant some of these, especially the ones in the proper pots down here. But when you're planting in baskets, it just gets a little bit difficult. I mean, really you just want to plant in something that has a drain hole that you can either pop out of the basket and go take it to your sink to water it, or put a saucer under it inside the basket to protect it. Otherwise, that basket would break down pretty quickly. And then when I'm all done and ready for a new look on the mantle, I can either leave these plants in those containers or I can put them somewhere else in something new. And that's fun too, because I can repurpose and make them look completely different. And I'm honestly happy that I decided to tackle this over the course of a couple days, because things always take longer than you think they're going to, even when you're not potting up the plants. But you know, when I go to the garden center, it always takes me longer because I always end up looking at things that I'm not there to look at, like the seed racks and things like that, or you know, go out to the greenhouse to check on the hellebores, something random. But it was nice just to have time to spend on these, just to fuss with the plants, get them all ready, and then tomorrow we can go after the mantle and get that all set up. Plus, I'm about ready to lose light. It's kind of darker outside anyway, and then it makes it even darker inside when you're trying to film a project. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just a little field trip out to the garden center, which is kind of needed right now with all the snow and kind of yuck outside. Just to have some fresh new green stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys are all having a really great day, and we will see you in the next video. Bye.